Hey everyone, thank you once again for joining me another week of Wellness Wednesday. My name is Natalia and I am the owner of Wonderfully Made with Natalia. Today I have the amazing life and health transformation coach Paula Tobey with me on today. And thank you so much for your time, Paula. So let's get into it. Paula, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So thank you for having me, Natalia. Um, my name is Paula Toby. I am a former teacher. I taught here in the Humble area and in New Caney for years. We used to live in Louisiana. I taught there. And when I got out of teaching, I became uh, a life coach for parents. A lot of the people that I was working with in the schools were having difficulties with their kids. And so I was helping them kind of more in the home setting. They'd say things like, my child is so good at school and they are, thriving and they're having services and blah, blah. But in the home, it's not like that. And so I kind of worked in lots of different ways, helping clients initially as a parent coach. We covered all of the life basics, but when it came down to it, a lot of those families were struggling with their health, and I had been struggling in mine. And I knew that there was a lot to be said for that learning and health connection, the gut brain connection, we call it. And so I knew I had to get certified in that as well. So I am both life and health coach certified.
Oh, I love that. I'm a big fan of the education and the learning never ends. So I love that. I love that you went and took it a step further. You could have just been, this is what I do, but you're like, hey, I know that the connection or the correlation between what's going on in the gut is what's going on in the overall body. So I really love that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll start with my questions. And yeah. So how does your coaching approach integrate into daily routines to promote sustainable wellness habits for your clients?
That's a great question. So essentially, I love teaching about habit stacking and about overall balance. And I use this, I wrote a book. It's called Becoming a Phenomenal Mom: 5 Steps to a Healthier Life. And in this book, I discuss this star image that you see on the screen. And these 5 different areas of the points of the star are the 5 foundations that I was learning as a mom. In order to balance my life in healthy ways, I needed to do a good job concentrating on each of these 5 things. And so I was using that to help clients, but we do it with the baby step method, one celebration at a time, one little improvement at a time. And if you notice in the middle, what kind of looks like a little bit of a web, that is your wheel of life. We call that in life coaching. And that is where you can start tracking how you're doing in those different areas of your life. And so, physically, if you feel like you're maybe only putting about, you know, maybe once or twice a week, maybe that would bring you to, let's say, a level 4, and you really want to do it more. You want to exercise more, be mindful of what you're eating more, and you want to be at an 8. So then let's say you give yourself a 4, your reach is your 8, and so then we have measurable things that we can start working on. So this model is basically to help clients that I work with to see how they're doing overall, and so we can work on those baby steps.
Oh, I love that. I'm a visual person, so this graph right here is something that would definitely I would benefit from this. So did you
So
create this? Did you come
I
up with
did.
this?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. I came up
amazing.
with the image. I like to call these God downloads. I was doing before they were called podcasts years ago. I had a blog talk radio show, and I was describing someone these 5 areas, and the image of a star popped in my head, and I said, think of a star. Your bottoms, of the star represent your emotional health, your physical health, And then the sides of the star are your educational and your financial. And those are the ones that kind of hold everything together, kind of like security. And then your spiritual health is the one, at the crown at the top. And that's the one that kind of brings it all together in a synergistic, kind of amazing way when you have a good spiritual, upbringing. And even for people who don't necessarily believe in God, almost all people believe in spirituality. And so
Mhm.
this fits for all of that.
Oh, I
Um,
love it.
yeah, yeah.
So how do you help your clients overcome common barriers or obstacles that they may be facing um, with a healthy lifestyle on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so we kind of evaluate where they are. We talk about what it is that they're desiring. And so a lot of it is health and wellness based. A lot of it is when you're just kind of struggling and you're not exactly sure what's going on. And so then we kind of dig deeper. So we kind of take this model as a starting point, but then we really hone in on what it is that we want to do to improve those things. And in
Mhm.
my research, doing the book and in my own personal wellness journey, I learned a lot of it had to do with that gut brain connection that we talked about. And when you are eating well, exercising, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, when you're uh, uh, focusing on those core areas of wellness, then your gut and your brain have the ability to work together better. It's kind of
Mhm.
like a super highway, like a highway between the two. And when you're doing the good, healthy stuff, you're clearing out the traffic. And so it's less of a stopping point for all of the things in the middle to get grounded, right? So if we don't do that, moms often suffer from brain fog or
Mhm.
lack of energy, or sometimes it's extreme tiredness, or often they'll have other issues that crop up, and that can
Mhm.
look like inflammation, that can look like autoimmune issues. So a lot of that is really due to that super highway getting clogged up.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I have heard that the gut is referred to as the second brain. So it's I'm learning so much
Yeah,
as
there's
far as
a lot to learn.
taking care of the gut health and starting there. Even with my own children, I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, this is so good. And like you said, I am a believer. So God has just placed all these amazing people to continue helping
Mhm.
me learn more. So I love that. Thank you so much for your time as well. So, what role does
Mhm.
mindfulness or self awareness play in your coaching process? And how does it contribute to clients' overall wellness in their everyday lives?
Yeah. So again, physical health is one of my major areas. So sorry, I said physical. I meant emotional. Emotional health, meaning mental health, and mindfulness, and all of that kind of stuff. We focus on regularly. When
Mhm.
I am coaching someone who, let's say, they're stuck, we work a lot on what it is that's holding you stuck. What is holding you
Mhm.
back? What are you afraid of? Those kinds of questions.
Mhm.
And what's wonderful about coaching is you do get to ask a lot of questions and help the recipient dig a little deeper. Because on your own, you don't necessarily think to ask those questions of yourself. But if someone else is asking you and you reflect back and you're like, huh, I don't know. You
Mhm.
discover there's a lot about yourself, a lot of thoughts that you never even occurred to have because someone else is doing it from an outside perspective. So it's
Mhm.
really helpful to have that back and forth. So we do a lot of that. And then also just presenting them with tools in order to make these things stronger. So we do emotional health check ins, we do exercises that strengthen your confidence, right?
Mhm.
Just simple things like that, that are tied all together. And I actually address that a lot in this book. So the way that this is written is actually like a guide for people. You can read the chapters, and I share part of my story in one of these 5 areas, and then I share what I learned, so the teaching. And then I ask reflective questions so they can say, huh, I wonder if, this is something that I could work on. And then I provide them with QR codes in the book as resources and tools so they can dig a little deeper. So here is an example of how I include it in there. So, this happens to be a QR code about one of the resources I was talking about in here. And so when you click on it, you can go right there and learn more. So it's pretty handy.
I like that. It's like a pretty interactive book.
It is. It's definitely interactive. And it's great for even like small groups, women's small groups. Yeah, but it was designed, I hadn't seen anything like it, but it was designed out of a download.
Yes, I love that. And I will be posting the link where people can buy that book from you. She is local here to Kingwood, so you could also just pick the book up from her. I don't know if you have copies on hand, but we will link
Yep.
her book.
Yep.
So you
It's
guys
on
can
Amazon, so anytime, anywhere, get it in a few days.
Yes, for sure. So, how do you go about assisting your clients in finding a balance between different aspects in their lives, such as work, family, personal health, that supports their overall well-being?
Well, this is a prime example, and especially for people who are working. So I created this image with 2 parts to each star point. And as you can see, there's a personal and then there's like a business side. So
Mhm.
for anybody who's working for a company, an entrepreneur working for themselves, this all applies. So it's essentially making sure that you're covering your personal life and your career life all together. Because often you might find that you are healthier in one area of your life and
Mhm.
not as healthy in the other. Now, I do
Mhm.
want to point out, like, even your business has a physical aspect to it. So when we talk about physical health, it isn't only like working out in your business, but
Mhm.
it's how is your business working out
Mhm.
for you? How is your business physically making money, or physically, how is it physically doing? All of those components. So when you think about the word physical, it has lots of different connotations. So it
Yeah.
works for every single area, right? Which I just love that. So
I know. I love that too. I'm gonna go ahead and print this out and
yeah,
work on that because it's I've never seen anything like this. And it's really good because we run in the same circle a little bit. So we all have our personal, we all have our entrepreneur life. So I've never seen something like this before. So
I'm
Paula,
excited.
this is
Yay.
gold.
Thank you. Well, to be honest with you, I will share. I'm going to be opening a mastermind community in the next couple of months. My goal is to launch by Mother's Day as a woohoo.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah. And this is going to be one of the staples that we use in it. So, yeah,
Awesome,
you'll have to.
amazing. I'm excited. And yeah, y'all stay tuned. I will be sharing about that as well for anybody wanting to join the master class group.
Mastermind. Yep, yep.
It's amazing. I'm excited for that. So, okay, this last question pretty much covered a little bit, but so okay, what resources or tools besides
Mhm.
our beautiful star here do you provide to clients to support their ongoing wellness journey outside of scheduled coaching sessions?
Yeah. So obviously, this is a tool. The book is a tool. Calls that I do with them are tools. But I also have a podcast, and believe it or not, that is becoming such an up and coming resource for people, especially today with AI.
Mhm.
Uh, because you can transpose it into all kinds of different things. And so I can create visual images from there. And yeah, so I really love integrating everything together, which is why this star is the way that it is. It kind of was birthed out of, like I said, at that God download that I was just like, let me see about integrating it all together, and let me see if I sent this off to my VA that makes things look beautiful. And she was just like, this is great. I love it. and she gave me back something way better than I expected.
Well, she did an amazing job, that's for sure. But it
Hey.
was, but that idea, don't you just love when you're able to see that idea that's in your head come to life?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this birthing process was with this. I mean, this started uh, as an event. I led an event at a church in Baytown, Texas in 2015. And this was we called it the Mom Transformation Event. And I was the keynote speaker on a Friday night. And I introduced the whole idea of the phenomenal living concept and what this looks like, and the five foundations of health. And then Saturday, we offered breakout groups. And so you
Mhm.
could really hone in. There were people there teaching Dave Ramsey stuff.
Wow.
There were people teaching parenting classes. I taught one of those. We had a health and wellness person. So it was really great to have all of those represented. And then we came together and did a panel where people could ask questions and all of that. And then the last thing was on Sunday, we did a kind of like a bring it all together makeover from the inside out. And that was really awesome. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Well, Paula, I think it's time to bring that baby back.
I plan on it. I plan on it.
Let's do that. I'm down. I will definitely be one of the first to be there because all these
Awesome.
areas, and it's funny that you mentioned Dave Ramsey because I took a small course at a church as well on
Uh-huh.
financial freedom. So I'm like, all this stuff is down my alley. All this stuff is what I want to learn about. It's what I want to achieve in my personal life, in my spiritual life, in my business life. Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
Well,
So
I think that you'll get a lot from the book. I actually mentioned him in there in that program that I did, and yeah, I believe that it's a great resource and a great tool for all women. And the concepts in it are not anything new; they're not rocket science. But
yeah.
when we think about taking just a baby step better every day and just improving a little bit, as long as we're working on these 5 things, we are doing wonderful.
Yes, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So, Paula, thank you so much. Let people know that's watching where they can follow you at, where they can find you on the web.
Mhm. Yeah, so my website is just my name, Paula Tobey, Paulatobey.com. And Facebook, same thing, Paula Tobey. Instagram at Paula Tobey. So it's all there. And the podcast I have is available on Apple and all of the other ones. I host it out of one called Spreaker, but it goes everywhere. And that one is called Phenomenal Living. And so you can find that there, wherever you find your podcasts at. And what else? Those are the main things. Oh, and the book is on Amazon.
Yeah,
So
the book is on Amazon. We'll have that link for you guys. So
yeah.
thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Thank you, Paula, because this was amazing. Like I said, we will link that book below, and y'all stay tuned because this masterclass that Paula's working on is going to blow your socks off. So y'all do not want to miss that. Thank you so much, Paula, for your time. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your information and your knowledge with us today.
You are very welcome. And I so appreciate you, Natalia. And I also love your message and how you promote being wonderfully made from the inside out. And so I'm going to have you on my podcast.
Woo, let's do it. Thank you so much, Paula. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Take care.
Bye.